Other guys, God bless each and every one of you. You and yours article coming out today. Mass graves of thousands of children killed by Obama's Adrenochrome ring discovered on US soil. Before getting to that, I want to just run through a few other sort of articles that are coming out today, which we've been able to sort of like cover quite a few recently, which has been really, really good. Just bear with me as this loads up. Okay. Now, just want to bring to your attention, guys, what it is that we've sort of like looked at yesterday. We looked at yesterday quite a few articles, 5 of which, here's some headlines of the day coming out for you. Special foreign talent, including Turkish trans drag queens, granted British visas. No doubt that's going to help the immigration battle and everything else that's been kicking off here. Still continuing with that, councils across UK vow to take legal action over migrant hotels. Also, Rudy Giuliani hospitalized with severe injuries after a vehicle struck from behind at high speed. This is really troubling and sad. This is where, artificial intelligence as well as technology is really leading many of the youth today. Parents sue ChatGPT for convincing their kid to commit suicide. It's also been going on with Alexa devices and some instructions being given to children as well relating to harming them. Yesterday, we mentioned Elon Musk again. Elon Musk, Europe could become extinct within decades. Elon Musk has issued a stark warning that Europe could become extinct within decades due to plummeting birth rates, urging the continent to address its demographic crisis or face total population collapse. Seems a little bit sort of like counterproductive, doesn't it? Interesting here, Germany reveals Mohammed most popular name among welfare recipients, and that also Mohammed is the most popular name over here in the UK. Astonishing. Back to Mr. Musk. Musk warns Europe could die if it doesn't increase its birth rates, and the Kremlin European War Party trying to sabotage the Ukraine peace process. So Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has accused European leaders of attempting to derail US President Donald Trump's effort to solve the Ukraine conflict. Okay, and then this is what we were saying around, the astonishing elements of, pedophilia, I suppose. Pedophile migrant who was deported 3 times is caught living at a California child daycare. Unbelievable, is it not? And here, Stanford University confirms AI is killing jobs. First of all, we were told, wasn't it, that, this 4th industrial revolution and AI and everything wouldn't be sort of like, taking jobs. But here you go, research coming out from Stanford University declaring literally that is the case. So want to be looking at this article from a few angles. The article we're going to focus on, guys, is mass graves of thousands of children killed by Obama's Adrenochrome ring discovered on US soil. Want to look at some other headlines that have been surrounding this as well. We covered this in brief yesterday, did we not? Khloe Kardashian joins the Adrenochrome jet set with illegal plasma infusion harvested from young blood. We're going to be looking at that in our main article. Las Vegas police expose Israeli Adrenochrome ring in the US, which is protected by government agencies. What we were saying about, Israel being the epicenter for pedophiles and a safe haven for them. You can see the connect here, can't you? Hulk Hogan apparently was about to expose the Hollywood Adrenochrome industry before he died. Okay, some saying that it wasn't actually natural causes, and Russia intercepts Adrenochrome shipment from Israel containing blood of 10,000 children. All right, this is what these guys are literally, all around the bloodthirst. And here, Michael Jackson exposed Israeli Adrenochrome. I'm sorry if I'm saying it really wrong. Adrenochrome ring before he was murdered. And again, Putin exposes Israeli child trafficking network supplying Adrenochrome to Hollywood and DC. Okay, so we're seeing this sort of like perversion, are we not, through Hollywood and certain, famous individuals literally doing this in you know, ritual forms on you know, movies, when they're being interviewed, through music. Here we go. Mass unmarked graves has been discovered on US soil. Thousands of children buried in silence. And the trail leads directly to Barack Obama. Investigators now believe these bodies are tied to the Adrenochrome trade, I'm butchering it, a network that thrived during his time in power. Declassified government records lay it out in black and white. Federal contracts, invoices, sale receipts, names, dates, and dollar amounts, all pointing to the same conclusion. A system built on the harvesting of children and the trafficking of unborn lives. And if that weren't horrifying enough, there's even hidden footage, private conversations, powerful people caught lying, bragging about the mansions, the cars, the fortunes they've made in blood. And a lot of this as well, isn't it? When you have like P. Diddy's and you get all these guys have really sort of like deviant sexual, you know, impulses, and then they're, you know, blackmailed and monitored and then recorded. And then you only have to think of like, you know, Oprah Winfrey deliberately investing over in Africa in orphanages and those going missing. Same thing over here with the UK with the royal family as well. This continues. For years they told you that this was just a conspiracy theory. But what you're about to hear isn't theory, it's evidence. Barack Obama wasn't just connected to this network, he was the head of the snake and he made a fortune. They're becoming shameless in their attempts to normalize the unthinkable. So what we were saying around these guys wanting to lower and reduce the age of consent. Take, you know, Khloe Kardashian, we just covered that article. She recently traveled to Mexico for a so-called Muse cell infusion, a black market blood plasma procedure that uses the bodily fluids of extremely young children. It's outlawed in the United States, but quietly thriving internationally. Now stop and think for a moment. Where did this blood come from? Who's supplying it? And more importantly, how can a child under the age of 2 possibly give consent? This isn't wellness. It isn't medicine. It's the same adrenochrome pipeline we've been warning you about, dressed up in luxury, branded, promoted by rich and famous members of the occult elite, while the victims remain voiceless, buried and forgotten. So on Epstein Island as well, you know, graves are also being discovered. The fact is, blood isn't a charity. It's a $48 billion industry that turns pain into profit and leaves a trail of child corpses in its wake. It's unbelievable, isn't it? This 1,000-year-old paedophile cult that has preyed on children since the days of Babylon. A cult that has sacrificed the innocent, consumed their blood, and cloaked it all in sick rituals and twisted occult beliefs. History may have changed, but their practices have not. Today's elite have simply modernized the system, recruiting an army of soulless profiteers to run a multi-billion-dollar industry built on the slaughter of children, the harvesting of body parts, and the trafficking of unborn lives. These aborted children are being kept alive, hooked up to machines, treated not as human beings, but as raw material, their blood extracted, their organs catalogued, their very existence reduced to a product line for the powerful. This isn't some dystopian horror story, guys. This is happening right now in plain sight under the cover of medical research and biotech innovation. And the same names keep surfacing: politicians, celebrities, corporate giants, and yes, former presidents. The cult has simply gone corporate. What began as ancient ritual sacrifice has become a streamlined business model, and the profits beyond imagination. But here's when it gets even darker. These aren't just mutilated corpses thrown away in secret. No, these aborted children are being kept alive. Why? because for the blood to carry the effects their twisted rituals demand, it must be adrenalized. And that can only happen if the child is brought into this world alive, if the suffering is real. So the question is, who could possibly orchestrate such a monstrous network? And now you understand the animated, clip when it comes to, Monsters Inc. This is what that is all about. Trying to hide in plain sight, terrifying children so that their blood is, got so much adrenaline pumped into it. So it apparently gives these idiots what they seem to think longevity and, helps with the anti-aging, let alone the satanic rituals that also go through with this, grooming children with that. The answer is hiding in plain sight. Declassified documents, now tie Barack Obama directly to this trade. And what those papers reveal will shock you to the core. What you're about to hear is stone cold proof. No rumors, not speculation. Official government documents released only after federal court orders, reluctantly confirming the unthinkable. This isn't medicine. This is about money, power, and control. A supply chain of the unborn fueling a multi-billion-dollar, Adrenochrome industry, and yes, operating with federal approval. And all of it leads back to Barack Obama. Evidence this damning doesn't deserve a press release. It demands prosecution, indictments, and public trials. But here's the part that should chill every one of us. Experts now admit this industry has perfected techniques to harvest organs while aborted infants are still alive, which raises the most disturbing question of all. If this is what we know, what horrors remain hidden? And some of the videos that we've done in the past, guys, and I'll put them in the description box later, around the organ harvesting that we're seeing that's going on. This is the 1%'s absolutely putrid, agenda. This is what they literally are hell bent on. All of their satanic rituals, all their pedophilia, all of the organ harvesting, all of the sort of cannibalism as well that goes on. Terrifying on children when you've got so many children that are being kidnapped and stolen all over the world. We need to speak up for these individuals. For millennia, the ruling class has been obsessed with sacrificing children in occult rituals. Today, the global elite continue the same evil, only now it's dressed up as science and medicine. Adrenochrome has become their sacrament, fueling satanic rituals, indulgence, and a grotesque pursuit of youth. And their demands are as chilling as they are precise. When it comes to the skulls and organs of children, even the unborn, there is one rule. They must be fresh, never frozen. The price only climbs when the body remains intact. It's like monstrous what goes on. And it's like there's no joy in any of our hearts here as a team, addressing some of this. But this is what really does actually go on, guys, when they're trying to fob you off with, their countermeasures and their sort of like diversion tactics when it comes to this, that, and the other, to steer you away from all of these sorts of things, the Epsteins, the P. Dallies, the Oprah Winfreys, and other people that want to run away and leg it. This also includes, actors like Tom Hanks. I'll put the video in for your attention later. These guys have literally got generations and generations of this perversion going on. And they want what they do in secret to be made more private so that they can come out, as we were saying yesterday. According to Judicial Watch founder Tom Fitton, federal officials who have enabled and profited from this gruesome trade in children's body parts cannot be allowed to hide behind bureaucracy. They must be exposed and they must be held to account. What we're uncovering is a marketplace of death, a black market in plain sight where fetal organs are catalogued and priced like auto parts. So guys, when we come back, we are going to be literally busting these rings. We're going to be sort of like rescuing women and children and, the like. Bringing some of these individuals to justice, to the law, for him to deal with them. And this is the sorts of things that we're going to be, experiencing. We said yesterday, didn't we, that, you think it's bad now? Just imagine how more depraved and evil and demonic this is literally going to get when we are all taken out. Behind it is a vast machine. Biotech firms, government agencies, and so-called healthcare providers, all feeding a billion-dollar supply chain that enriches the elite. Why do you have to have aborted baby fetuses in the COVID-19 vaccine? Why? Can someone please tell me why? Why do you think it's part of their, rituals? It's part of their mockery that they have going on. Laughing at us without expense, putting urine and, poo in food and the likes. Part of their mocking and taunting of us. Let alone putting it into the food and McDonald's, body parts discovered. Got to get rid of the evidence somehow, haven't you? That's what really all of the, Olympic Games are really all about. It's not really about a sporting event. It's so all of these perverts can all meet up every so-and-so and have their hunting parties, have all of their, occults and practices and everything else behind the scenes. That's what it's really going on. It's horrific. And they flaunt it as well, don't they? In undercover footage. Executive sip wine and laugh about the profits, luxury cars, designer bags, lavish vacations, all bought with blood money. Worse still, it's all being shielded by the very institutions we're told to trust, while the media runs cover, as always, and buries the evidence, as always. Take Planned Parenthood. Their own executives have been caught red-handed, not just admitting to the harvesting of body parts, but bragging about how lucrative the trade has become. And God sees all of this. People need to speak out against it. One name stands out, Dr. Mary Gatta, head of the Los Angeles branch. In undercover footage, she's seen haggling over the price of body parts. I'll put this article in here for you guys to see for yourself. All right, these clips. I'm going to show them here. All right, not medical waste, but premium organs demanded by elite buyers seeking adrenochrome. And this isn't vague. Dr. Gatta explicitly offers thymus liver pairs priced in certain circles for their potency. She even admits that she has colleagues elsewhere in California running the very same operation, forming a network designed to keep the elite well supplied. Medical journals quietly confirm what insiders have been saying for years. The thymus gland and the liver are the crown jewels in the adrenochrome production. The thymus, a small but powerful organ, regulates adrenaline. The liver processes it and filters it. Together, they form the perfect combination for those seeking to extract and weaponize the body's most potent chemicals. So it should come as no surprise that Dr. Mary Gatta was caught in Los Angeles, the beating heart of Hollywood, negotiating the going prices for these organs. And how do you think that they're getting these organs, guys? And it's Hollywood itself where the whispers grow loudest. Brave truth tellers like Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel have risked everything to expose the crimes of an industry built on the suffering of children and the elites who feed off them. This is why I will boycott certain sort of like actors, okay, that are affiliated to the World Economic Forum, like the Leonardo DiCaprio's, and very much like Idris Elba, and also Nicole Kidman. Some of these idiots. Absolutely boycott them. Why would I want to be watching their movies or their films or anything that they're promoting and put money in their pockets so that they can literally do this? No, not happening. But it's not all darkness. Thanks to the courage of truth seekers, the tide is turning. More people are waking up every day, and the perpetrators can no longer operate with impunity. Their days of power are numbered. Take Planned Parenthood, for example. The walls are closing in on the creeps and murderers. Their director of strategic communications was found dead after police uncovered evidence of a paedophile network at his home. Tim Yergay, 36, was found dead in his Connecticut apartment from apparent suicide shortly after he was implicated by police in a child sex investigation. And then there is the story of Bill Taverner, a Planned Parenthood director who openly states that children should be treated as sexual beings from the moment they exit the womb. Unbelievable, is it not? After the People's Voice exposed Taverner's satanic beliefs on Fox News Digital, it dug up similar appalling statements from Taverner's Center for Sex Ed and exposed him to their audience. One of these documents used to indoctrinate Planned Parenthood staff claims that, quote, sexuality is a part of life through all the ages and stages. Babies, elders, and everyone in between can experience sexuality. How sick. For thousands of years, this cult has thrived in the shadows, sacrificing children, consuming their blood, and digesting it as religion, as medicine, as culture. From Babylon to Hollywood, the names and faces may change, but the evil remains the same. This cult survives on secrecy, it feeds on silence, and it thrives because good people are too afraid to speak. Just want to bring us to what the Bible has to say about this. What does the Lord say around this? The horrific practice of child sacrifice has been committed throughout the world for thousands of years. Generally, the sacrifice of a child was intertwined with the worship of a pagan deity, often a fertility god. Worshippers sought to obtain a blessing from their gods or to confirm or complete a vow taken in the name of the god. Ancient Aztecs, Incas, and a few other people in South and Central America practiced child sacrifice. The same for the Druids of Europe. The city of Carthage in North Africa contains evidence of child sacrifice relating to the worship of Baal Hamon, a god imported from Phoenicia. Many Roman writers refer to this barbaric act in Carthage. The Bible contains the heartbreaking tale of child sacrifice practiced in the name of Molech, also spelled Moloch or Molech, a god of the Ammonites. Molech worship was practiced by the Ammonites and Canaanites, who revered Molech as a protecting father figure. Images of Molech were made of bronze, and their outstretched arms were heated red hot. Living children were then placed into the idol's hands and died there, or were rolled into a fire pit below. Some sources indicate a child might also be passed through the fire prior to the actual sacrifice in order to purify or baptize the child. Molech worship occurred in the Hinnom Valley near Jerusalem. Because of this, the valley became associated with the idea of Tophet or hell. We read that in Isaiah 30:33, Jeremiah 19:12, and Mark 9:45. God prohibited Israel from child sacrifice in general and Molech worship in particular. Leviticus 20 verse 2 states, "Say to the Israelites, any Israelite or any foreigner residing in Israel who sacrifices any of his children to Molech is to be put to death. The members of the community are to stone him. I myself will set my face against him and will cut him off from his people. For by sacrificing his children to Molech, he has defiled my sanctuary and profaned my holy name. If the members of the community close their eyes when that man sacrifices one of his children to Molech, and if they fail to put him to death, I myself will set my face against him and his family and will cut them off from their own people together with all who follow him in prostituting themselves to Molech." Many other Old Testament passages affirms God's zero tolerance for child sacrifice. It's happening in every single country, in every single government. It's horrific. Sadly, King Solomon became involved in this horrendous practice, as recorded in 1 Kings 11:4. As Solomon grew old, his wives turned his heart after other gods, and his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God, as the heart of David, his father, had been. He followed Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians, and Molech, the detestable god of the Ammonites. So Solomon did evil in the eyes of the Lord. On a hill east of Jerusalem, Solomon built a high place for Chemosh, the detestable god of Moab, and for Molech, the detestable god of the Ammonites. The Lord became angry with Solomon because his heart had turned away from the Lord, the God of Israel, who had appeared to him twice. Although he was forbidden Solomon to follow other gods, Solomon did not keep the Lord's command. Later, the evil king Manasseh offered his own son as a sacrifice, as we read in 2 Kings 21:6, as did King Ahaz in 2 Chronicles 28:1. The people of Judah participated in this crime against their own sons, a sin so detestable that God said it had never even crossed his mind. Jeremiah 32:35. Child sacrifice was one reason for the Babylonian captivity, as we read in verse 36. Some critics of the Bible point to the story of Abraham, who laid his son Isaac on an altar and prepared to sacrifice him as directed by God, as we read in Genesis 22:1. However, in this case, God was testing the obedience and faith of Abraham. God stopped him from actually following through and provided a ram as a substitute sacrifice. Today, child sacrifice is practiced throughout the world. There has been a resurgence of child sacrifices in Uganda. Witch doctors have been implicated in the mutilation and death of children who were killed in an effort to bring good fortune and wealth to those willing to pay for it. There is also a correlation between child sacrifice and modern day abortion. Unprecedented numbers of children have been sacrificed at the hands of abortionists for the sake of convenience, immorality, or pride. Hundreds of thousands of babies have been killed so that their parents can maintain a certain lifestyle. God hates hands that shed innocent blood, as we read in Proverbs 6:17. And we can be sure that God will judge this horrendous sin. Just want to check in with you guys. Hi there, God bless you. My apologies. It's not exactly sort of like you guys want to be waking up to, but it's something that we really need to expose here. Hi there, Sherry. Good to see you. Hi there, Gigi. Morning. Blessings to you. Ah, bless you. I haven't been to bed yet. Oof. I hope you don't have nightmares after what we've covered. Bless you. Hi there, Michael. Good to see you. Obama. Yeah, Obama. What a nice guy. That's okay. What did you say? Obama. What a nice guy. I mean, guy. Do you know what I mean? Big Mike. Wow. Do you know what I mean? Isn't that it's what they've also done, isn't it? Macron's, a powerful wife as well, and husband, should we say? It's just like why? And then everyone, they deny it all, and then they come out. Do you know what I mean? The slow reveal. Ooh. Bless you guys. Yes, exactly. Obama is married to Mike. Caught him on. He's caught on camera saying it several times. Oh, my Michael, and whatever. And then what? She comes out. Wow. Yeah. Don't open some doors. Yeah. Yeah. There you go, guys. Let's just leave that there, shall we? Bit of a shorter live for us. I think it's probably our shortest live that we've ever covered, and perhaps rightly so, that we just leave that as is. Here we have it. Mass graves of thousands of children killed by Obama's Adrenochrome ring discovered on US soil. Just looked at some headlines relating to this as well, of just how far and wide this is when it comes to Israel, as it comes to the Ukraine and other countries around the world. Also looks in this a little bit relating to what the Lord really, sees as child sacrifice, and how outraged he is in and around that. We need to continue to expose these wicked individuals and not allow them to be sort of like, having their, day and hour of fame, but actually exposing them for the evil that they do to children, to innocents. Okay, because it's not just you know, kind of like just, you know, children. It's every sort of perversion, is it, as we've covered over the last few days. So thank you guys for the pleasure of your company. We'll leave that here for today. I'll put these articles in there so that you can go and see the video yourself. Okay, I didn't want to flip this around and show that to you. That's not okay. If I'll give you a choice as to whether or not you want to actually look into this a little bit more. I will be putting in a post in a little while, some other videos just surrounding this, highlighting the importance of the church speaking out against these things that are literally going on all around us. So thank you guys. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will touch base again soon. All right. Bye now.